there's a hot girl, there's this gorgeous woman. Couldn't even tell you now what she looked like, but she was hot. And I get my food. I get my food on my tray. And I'm so stuck looking at this girl's body that I ran into the back of my uncle who had stopped in front of me and I didn't know it. And my food and my drink, everything just goes.
So
and I'm like, what do you fucking do? And I'm like, you're so caught, dude.
Was she close, physically close?
I'm pretty damn sure she knew that I was staring at her ass. Like, there's no way. Like, I mean, anything could have happened. It happened behind her, but still, I'm like, that's what it's like to be a teenage boy. It's like you can't.
It's completely overwhelmed.
Oh my god.
Cause like you can't like now we can like think about other things. Like we have other things. I feel like when you're a boy and you're a teenager, you have no other thoughts. Like, what have you learned? You've learned like some math.
You've learned some math.
When you're like older, you're like, okay, I got work and stuff, my dog, I got stuff to think about. They can distract me.
The other thing though is like you don't have a full frontal lobe till you're like 30.
Yeah.
Like I could feel the difference happening, changing in my brain between the ages of like 28 and 32, where I was like, oh my god, like I can like think about my future, like I can like see the outcomes of like all these different like, whereas before I was just like, it was like a constant panic. And I think of it sometimes like when I was a kid, I'd just go spend all my money, all my little, savings, my change and stuff. I'd go to the convenience store, I'd buy all kinds of candy and I'd eat it till my stomach hurt, my teeth were rotting out of my head because I fucking needed that candy. And then you think about that, like, and then now as an adult, you can give me a bag of Reese's Cups, my favorite, and I want to eat them all, but I know now that if I eat more than 2, I'm gonna like feel like I have a cavity and my stomach's gonna hurt and I'm gonna get a headache from too much sugar. So what I do instead is I have one, I put that bag in there, and every once in a while I have a little bit more self-control out of experience. Sex and dating is no different. Whereas 14, you hit puberty, 14, 15, you're like, give me it, give me the sex, give me the chicks, give me the,
There's no consequences.
Yeah. Beating off every 2 seconds.
You have it in the street.
Constant. Now I'm like, dude, I need a break. Now I'm like, actually, I don't want to talk to any girl. I don't want to talk to anybody for like a month.
Yeah, I feel like that's what kind of develops too. You kind of see like the downside of everything, the trade off and everything. Like, okay, yeah, she's hot, she come over, do that, but then like she's annoying or like I don't know, it's subtle stuff. Like I kind of want to read this book.
Right. You start realizing that there's actually a you in there that you. Before, at the beginning of puberty, you're like, oh, girl equals everything.
That's
and
like
then,
success, just success.
Yeah, and then it's like, dude, no, you need like, you're looking for somebody who wants to like coexist with you, and like y'all can both sit in silence and not feel weird, and like, that's hard to find. And you're not going to find it, in my opinion, you're not going to find it on an app.
What do you think it is that makes you like, because people get off, right, and they'll get back on. Just pure boredom?
Oh, you mean of the apps, not like in and out of relationships? Well, you get addicted to that shit. I mean, I do the same thing with Instagram. I get on, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this anymore, I'm wasting so much time, and then I delete it for a week and I download it again. And, it's like something.
This is the problem that goes back to just the way everything is set up.
It's designed to keep your attention,
and if it were easy to not need that, it wouldn't be so big. Like how we talked about the way the world is partitioned off into private property and stuff.
Yeah, and, they're playing with your emotions. It's not like think about this, right? You download Zillow, you look at houses for sale, you look at apartments, you're like, cool, this is fucking cool, this is fun. But like, you know, in a practical, logical way that you're not gonna buy $1 million house. You don't have the money in the bank. You don't have the fucking. You just don't want to do it. You're not going through those steps. It's different when it's about love, because love is something not tangible. You know, if you buy a house, you own the house. You're in the house. Like, you can very much fill that house with stuff that you can show your friends and whatnot. Whereas love is something that like is like intangible, that is agreed upon by two people, that's constantly evolving. So you can't just download Hinge the same way you can download Zillow, because Hinge is making something that like is promising something that can't really even be promised. Whereas Zillow is like, oh, if you give us $500,000, you can have this house. Whereas online, you're like, will this house love me? You know, does this house belong to me? Does this house need me the way I need this house? Are me and this house on the same page? Maybe this house has an agent that would love me instead. Meet this house is fucking. It's crazy. It's nuts how. I mean, you know, they're playing with your emotions, man. And they're success stories. My little sister and her boyfriend met on Bumble, and they're happily ever after. So, you know, but like, if from the people I know, that's like a, you know, very, very rare. Do you know anyone who's met and?
I know. I mean, bartending, you just see so many first dates.
Oh,
we used to play
good
that game.
point. Good point.
Because I worked at a cocktail bar, and so that's guys like, oh, I'm gonna take you to this fancy, you know, and they would come, and if they're kind of like 2 feet apart from each other, you're like first date, you know, because if people are close,
yeah, right, yeah, they're holding hands. He's got his hand on her back or something, at the waist, yeah.
Yeah, but I knew a lot of people. I think somebody I knew. I went to my high school reunion. My friend Eli, his girlfriend, they met on Tinder. That was recent. I think I knew a couple people that got married.
Oh.
Yeah. But of all the people who use it,
yeah, of percent, 1%, something like that. It's also funny to think back on like before dating apps, like I mean, like Facebook was basically built on that.
Yeah.
You know, judging people's faces. Yeah. And then I think back, like my MySpace days, I would match. You know, I was finding little like punk chicks in like Florida that I thought were cute and adding them because I thought maybe we could have a life together. I was like 12 years old, you know. So it's crazy that's like all that stuff started. You know.
That kind of like,
I keep forgetting this.
That kind of ties into, like you said, they promised something that can't exist, because what we lost is like physical communities.
Yeah.
And like even like we were talking about my brothers, like if you're not kind of seeing people over and over again, like a lot in a period of time, nothing can really even happen. Like not really built for it. You can just see someone once and then follow them or get their number, and just like that's not really natural. So like they kind of play on that kind of vulnerability or like that problem people have now. Like they're so isolated.
You know, she's not gonna perform her best, but watch. Oh, good. Up, up. Yeah. 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 Go around. Weave.
Whoa.
Weave. Good sit. It's just a dog food, sorry. You're like, you made me do all that for a fucking dog food? Alright, through. No, pay attention. Through. Good, sit. Say boof. Say boof. Say boof. Say boof. Say boof. No, say boof. Boof. Say boof. No, say boof. Say boof. Speak. Speak. Say boof. She still had one in there. Say boof. Down. Good girl. Wait. No, that doesn't count. Up. Yeah.
Whoa!
Girl.
What does say boof? What's she supposed to say?
Roof.
Oh. Boof.
She goes. Say boof. Say boof.
Oh shit, it is just a head.